Ben Whaley, agronomist for Golden Harvest. Just giving an update on the early planted beans. These are planted April 5th. These are on Grinnell. Last week did a first update on them. Thought they were going to come through. Had some frost damage you can see on the stems trying to come through, and then I think we got pretty good crust on top of them before we got that last rain. So we did have some issues going on there as well. So just an update. You can see there's quite a bit of stress in the yellowing there, and there's some brown where it really got nipped off. And then if you look up here, this crusting really had a big effect on what's going on. Had a lot of them break off at the neck. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. This one probably won't make it either. 5. That one made it, but it's pretty weak. So I think the crust probably had the most effect on what was going on. We probably could have made it through the frost if it didn't crust up. This point in the field, we have staked. They were just starting to come up. They were browning up on the stems. Probably got frosted there on the stems trying to come up. You can see that they did make it, a lot of them, but they're pretty yellow. This one just is starting to come up. It's got a trifoliate on there. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. This trifoliate's pretty healthy. That'll green up once we get some heat. This probably gonna have some problems. It's still brown there, and the cotyledons are having a hard time coming up, and the trifoliate is already coming up and shriveled. Same with this as well. Just kind of got confused on what they were wanting to do, but I mean, a pretty good emergence. Here's another observation that we have staked. This one's kind of unique. You got a lot of different things going on here. So up here, it's got some necrotic tissue on here. Obviously got frosted off. Won't come back, but the trifoliate looks nice and green. So I think we'll be okay here. And coming up forward here as well, got some pretty nice bean plants coming up. There's a couple broke off up there at the stems. And then here, you can see it probably was just about coming out of the ground when that got stressed out, and that's where you get your yellowing. We'll keep an eye on that, see if those green up. And then trifoliate is also pretty stressed out and shriveled up, but probably the thing I take away from this is the biggest here is this one came up. It's got nice cotyledons, nice and green cotyledons there, but I think the trifoliate has given up, so pretty sure that one won't make it as well. Just a lot of different things going on here, and this one tried to come up, almost made it, and then broke off. This is probably my favorite observation, and the one that I think we can learn the most about, of just how tough these beans can be if we give them some kind of decent weather and growth we can get out of them. We had some frost. Obviously we had some crust we can see earlier. Got one broke off here from this clump that we had. There's one back here that's broke off as well. But if you look in the before pictures from a week ago, this one looked pretty frosted off too on the stem, and it came out pretty well. It's got a little bit of stress there, and the trifoliate's coming. This one also had quite a bit of stress on it. Was kind of pretty brown on the stem trying to come out. It's got nice cotyledons, got a pretty good trifoliate starting there. Up here as well, this cotyledon's pretty brown, but it's coming out of it, and the trifoliates are starting to come as well. So not saying that they had the easiest life, but I think there is some decent beans coming through here. The thing we'll have to look forward to here in the next week is we'll be able to see how many of these beans come up through this soil with some moisture, and if we get some heat, you know, beans will keep coming up for probably, I would say, another week to 10 days, and then we can decide if we need to do replant or, you know, what our next move is here. But I would have thought a week ago that we would have lost maybe 10,000. Right now I would have to guess we probably lost 30 to 40,000. So it's just crazy how stuff can change. And just, you know, we're taking a little bit of chance going early, get that bump in yield, but kind of had the perfect storm here with, got the frost right when they're starting to come out, and then got hot and windy, and got the crust, and just a lot of different factors going on here. But the next week or 10 days we'll be able to figure out what kind of final stand we'll have, and be able to either replant or see if they'll flex through it. Usually if we have 100,000 planted before, you know, April 25th to May 1st, usually have full yield potential, if not more, and that's what we're going for. So I'll keep you updated, and we'll do some stand counts next week. This is another field we came to. This is probably 5 miles away from the one before. This is planted April 10th, so about 5 days after the previous field that we were documenting. 5 days makes a huge difference when it comes to planting early and getting good growing conditions. These weren't quite up when it frosted. We can see a little bit of frost on here, but you got to look pretty hard to find frost, and there's not near as much yellowing. Overall, pretty good crop of beans. I think should have pretty good stand here. There's a lot more coming. If you look hard enough, you can almost always find a seed that's about coming up. About every angle you take, there's one coming up right here, and it's starting to make the cracks where they're coming up under the ground and pushing up through. This rain should help quite a bit, really soften it up and take out that crust. But just shows you how important it is, or how much it affects the soybeans and when it frosts and when it was planted, or how deep they were planted. These are planted probably an inch or so deep. Not a whole lot different than the last field, but they just had about 5 days later, so weren't quite as big, and the frost didn't affect them as much. So just a learning lesson of, you know, what risks we take and trying to push the limit.